Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 53. Ripple signs a new bank, Bakkt off to a slow start, and Binance US to launch trading on Tuesday. Anyways guys, I hope you are having a great Monday night, a great beginning of the week. Hey Benny, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for being here and supporting the channel, brother. I really appreciate it. Now guys, if you are catching this stream live, welcome, and if you are catching the replay and have any suggestions, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you are thinking. Again guys, 91 subscribers today, so thank you for the support. Thank you for all the support that you're showing us. This is not possible without you guys, really. It is you guys that make this channel happen. All I do is I'm just here to present the news and talk about analysis, but you guys are ultimately the people that actually make this thing happen, right? Now, if you want to keep up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure you subscribe, you hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us, once the stream is on, you can join us on the Discord. The link's in the description, or you can look for us on Twitter, the State of Crypt 1. We're also there. We do not tweet that often, but we are there. We try to tweet at least once a day. And on the Discord, we're a little bit more active if you when stuff is happening, right? Anyways, guys, on to the news, right? There's interesting news happening today. So the IMF, in a recent staff paper, part of the FinTech Note series, the organization outlines the promises and risks of those assets, basically stablecoins, as the new arrival on the FinTech scene. The IMF immediately points out the advantages of stablecoins, creating the potential for fast and accessible global payments. Stablecoins are various types of tokenized currencies, for those of you who don't know. Mostly, often are pegged to the US dollar, but there are various ways this peg is achieved, right? One way is to simply store dollars in a bank, making the stablecoin redeemable, meaning that it's backed one-to-one to a dollar, right? Now, the riskier type is the algorithmic stablecoin, with its value derived from other crypto coins. Now, the IMF seeks risk in stablecoin markets, especially for smaller economies. If local currency is shunned in favor of a global stablecoin, when Libra or another asset, let's say, comes to play, this could lead to unwanted dollarization of the economy and loss of national currency sovereignty, right? Meaning people will prefer to use a stable coin than use any other type of coin, or meaning their local coin, right? Anyways, banks will also have to compete with the stable coins while providing services for some of the projects. The other threat is that various types of stablecoin networks could hide terrorism financing and illicit activities, despite the fact that blockchain record can be transparent and accessible internationally. Regulators may still have a hard time tracking that information. Now, central banks have explored various types of pegged digital coins for a while. People's Bank of China has stated it may issue a digital yuan. We have covered it previously. And India has also mentioned the potential of a digital rupee, though they have not announced a date, and this is counter to the next article that we have. The next article that we have actually is regarding India and their potential ban on crypto. Now, the IMC, the Interministerial Committee in India, submitted a draft bill banning cryptocurrency and regulation of Official Digital Currency Act 2019 to codify the ban. This is what the article is stating. Now, the ban on crypto, basically they are defining cryptocurrency as a set out in the bill. It's set to include initial coin offerings, any stored value units, whether closed loop or open loop, and units that represent value in an underlying business, right? Similar to a security. Now, the IMC has given several reasons for the proposed ban on cryptocurrency, including that one, lacks intrinsic value and is prone to fluctuation. But I mean, so are stocks, man. Stocks are prone to fluctuation. All markets, right? Gold. So why don't they ban gold? I mean, why crypto? Because of fluctuations. I believe this is a very weak argument. Now, 2, operates on a distributed ledger technology platform without any central authority. Who cares? It's public, right? Anyone can see it, and it's not corruptible because it is distributed ledger, right? Everyone has a copy of that same ledger, meaning that if someone was to make a change, it would not validate with the rest, meaning the transaction would not go through. So, I mean, yeah, we do know that India is a country where corruption does happen, right? So, it's no secret that corruption happens in that country. So, why are they afraid of? Maybe that they won't be able to take bribes? Because if digital currency does come into play and it's traceable, then they're out of luck, right? Anyways, another weak point. Provides greater anonymity than regular mainstream payment methods, and it's vulnerable to money laundering and using criminal activity. Dude, come on. Criminals have been using cash to get away with many things. It's even far less traceable than crypto. So again, another weak point they're making for the ban. And the fourth one is that it's susceptible to fraud, creating a high risk for customers. That one I have to give to them. A lot of people have abused people in the crypto market with ICOs, with Ponzi schemes like the one in China, etc. So yeah, there is certain risk, but again, if they're regulated properly, they can mitigate that risk, right? So again, they're just going for the easy way out. Rather ban it than actually try to come up with something to make it work. Again, if they're going to come up with their own digital currency, like the previous article stated, then they do have to come up with a plan, right? Anyways, the key question is whether the risk highlighted by the IMC can be adequately addressed via regulation as opposed to a complete ban, basically what we were just mentioning. Now, the draft bill seeks to criminalize all activity related to cryptocurrency, mining, holding, selling, dealing, transfer, and even advertising or inducing to participate in any of the prohibited activities, prescribing fines and imprisonment up to 10 years for the violation. That is a little bit harsh. I mean, just for talking about crypto, advertising it, I mean, come on, what happens if someone in India watches this channel and I'm traveling there? Are they going to put me in jail or fine me for putting out my content? I mean, I think it's a little bit far-fetched that they want to do, take it to that extreme, right? Advertising and inducing people. What happens if you don't induce people, but you just talk about crypto? Would that count as advertising? You know, I think they need to clarify this a little bit more. Now, if the ban is implemented, the government should consider including a cooling off period to allow investors and customers to unwind existing positions. I believe that is very real, and it's something that they should do. I mean, give time to people to get out of their positions, exit them at a good time. I mean, they cannot force you to sell your position today and take a loss when, you know, maybe you're hoping for a bounce or whatever. They do have to give a grace period. I believe that would be in order. Anyways, let's go look at the total market and see how the market is doing. Market for crypto today, yesterday losing money, right? 3.62% down. Right now gaining a little bit, 0.549. It just changed. Basically, yesterday closed at 246.79 billion. Right now sitting at 248.23 billion dollars. Now, what is happening with crypto? Why is money going out if Bakkt just launched, right? We'll cover that in another article. Anyways, remember, they just started 2 hours ago for the cryptosphere. What is going on with Bitcoin? Yeah, they just started 2 hours ago. So what's going on with Bitcoin dominance, right? Yesterday, Bitcoin gaining dominance, even though it lost price. Gain dominance meaning money probably flew out of the alts elsewhere, right? Yesterday, making plus 0.26% up from an opening of 70.28, closing at 70.43 right now, sitting at plus 0.04. Basically at 70.46, almost nothing, right? In India, there's a ban on all cryptocurrency and the fine is extreme. You would lose all your profits and then some. Yeah, if they implement this new ban, I mean, they are not crypto friendly right now, but if they do implement that ban, there certainly is going to be a lot of problems because probably people in India are holding it, right? Right now, it's not a criminal activity to hold the cryptocurrency. But if that bill goes into effect, as it was stated on the article, then potentially you would have to lose sell at that time or whenever the grace period ends, regardless of where your position is sitting, or incur in a penalty, or at least you will have to hold it elsewhere, right? Like I'm not sure, on a Chinese exchange with a name placeholder so that you can actually do stuff without being you know, maybe something weird like that, you know, give it to your cousin who lives in China so that he can invest it for you in crypto and hold crypto indirectly, right? I mean, I'm not sure how they're going to handle it, how they're going to track it, and how they're going to enforce it, right? I mean, the beautiful thing about crypto is that there's privacy coins that even if you wanted to track them, you know, what's stopping someone from making a privacy exchange that could operate in India, and then the government would be none the wiser as to who is trading there, so long as people don't make the withdrawals to their bank accounts in India and withdraw it to somewhere else, you know, like a third place, PayPal, paid back to themselves somehow, you know. There's ways to work around that. I'm not proposing any of them particularly, but I mean, if people wanted to find a way to go around something, there is, you know, where there's a will, there's a way, and people always find a way around blocks when they are interested. You learn in any sense from investing in Encash. Yeah, the developers are still building because something might change. You make a great point. Yeah, I mean, something could change, right? That it's not set in stone. The regulation is just being proposed. They're gonna go ahead and fight it. The article is from today, and it's from an India Business Law Journal, right? So again, I'm not sure how reputable this source is. It's the first time I actually see an article from this website, but I do kind of like it. I mean, it was very well written, and it wasn't very lengthy, but it was very well written, and certainly, we covered everything crypto, not just U.S., not just coins, but if there's stuff happening elsewhere in the world that will affect crypto, we do want to cover that as well. Anyways, let's go into Bitcoin, because stuff happening on Bitcoin, right? Well, nothing particularly with the Bitcoin price except for price action to the downside, but we did launch Bakkt, right? Or the ICE launched Bakkt, not we, but ICE launched Bakkt. At midnight today, the first Bakkt ICE futures contract changed hands at $10. Not $10,115. The number of contracts in the first hour stood just at 5 in total, and at press time for this article, there were 28 contracts that had been traded, with just one that was below the 10,000 price. Now, Larne Sarumi, the CEO of Level Trading Field, said, "I'm shocked that there isn't any volume. I absolutely thought that contract was going to be flying out of the gate. Very odd." By that time, the trading in the monthly contract totaled 66 Bitcoin, which is much more than Van Eck came out with, right? Van Eck was, I think, 4 Bitcoin, like $40,000 in their pseudo fake launch, because they were not regulated and they were doing it for private investors, and still they screw up majorly, right? Anyways, he's the first day. Is it a good start? Is it a bad start? I'm not sure. Maybe people are worried about how it's going to perform, and once the first contracts actually close, might see more adoption, maybe. Anyways, I found this other article that says Joe Kernan compares Bitcoin to Amazon. People didn't understand anything about it, right? Actually, I'm just going to go straight into the quotes. He says, "I don't make any forecasts. I have no idea, but I understand the math a little bit better. So I see it does have value, an unforgeable value of scarcity, whatever. Think about Amazon in 1998 when people didn't understand it, right?" So again, comparing it to the early, not the early internet, but certainly the early online stores, and when people weren't too sure and trustful of like purchasing things online, it was so far-fetched and out there that you would buy something online, it would come to your door, and what guarantees you were going to have on it, exchanges and things like that. You were not going to be able to like measure that shoe at the store and then return it at the same time and walk out of the store with it. But look at where we are now, right? Amazon, you buy something, you get same-day delivery sometimes, 2-day delivery, right? So it's very fast, and you get better price. Now imagine Bitcoin, right? You want to exchange money right now, you have to go through an exchange, through like an exchange, and you have to pay commissions, etc. High commissions sometimes to purchase different currency, right? So if you wanted to go to buy pesos, you would have to go through a forex exchange. At the end, you would have to pay a large commission, right? And if you wanted to transfer that to an actual bank account in Mexico, your bank will charge you, and then the receiving bank will also take a commission, making it very expensive. Now with crypto, you can just take your crypto, maybe put it in a debit card, and wherever you go, it doesn't matter. You just swipe it and it works, right? I mean, it will just transfer it, or not transfer it, but convert it at that point in time to whatever that crypto is worth on the exchange. But I mean, it's still greater than paying all the commissions for putting it into your account, out of your account, and it might be even cheaper than that. So again, adoption could drive from this later on, right? Anyways, and this article is from yesterday. It's pre-Bakkt launch. It came out late yesterday. So we didn't get to cover it during the stream. But anyways, like I said, it's pre-Bakkt launch, and they said it is, I like this quote from the article, man. They do say that it is unlikely that ICE new futures contracts will have a significant near-term impact on the general crypto market, particularly given the company is not looking for retail customers who make up the bulk of traders still. Now, Bakkt anticipates significant institutional demand for its future contracts, though it remains to be seen how significant it actually is. Now, again, think about it, right? When people are putting money into Bakkt, they are not putting it into the exchanges, meaning it's not flowing into the actual price of Bitcoin, thus not affecting it, right? They are putting into contracts that will mature at some point in time, future contracts where they will have to deliver Bitcoin, right? Not cash settled like the CME. But again, the money is not flowing directly into the crypto market. It's flowing into the Bakkt contracts. Therefore, it's not affecting the current price of Bitcoin, right? Again, just something to consider. When you talk about money flowing into Bakkt, it's not necessarily flowing into Bitcoin. Now, yeah. On a GitHub discussion about the future of release of 0.19.0 for Bitcoin Core client, developer continues to plan to disable the BIP70 by default and possibly removing it altogether from a later version. Now, BitPay has stuck to using the payment address format defined in BIP70. Other wallets and payment business have joined the majority of Bitcoin users in preferring BIP21, leaving BitPay wallets with little support. Now, despite this, the company continues to use the same address format. This leads to frustration, and those wanting to pay in Bitcoin often find their wallet does not allow payment of BitPay invoices. Now, BIP70 lost favor to BIP21 as its security setup involved reliance on centralized technology markets and paved the way for anti-money laundering and know your customer options to enter Bitcoin merchant transactions, right? Now, let's go and look at the price of Bitcoin. What is going on, man? Where are we sitting at? Well, we are sitting at 9,741. What happened yesterday, man? We dropped, right? We had this nice red candle coming down, touching that sort of support at the midline, and then bouncing off it. Things that are worrying me, right? Off the bat. Not looking very strong, we said yesterday. Bitcoin's not looking very strong. Potential price action to the downside, we did get it. Not being able to go above that 20 MA, not being able to sustain properly above that channel, touching it multiple times, not actually coming up and touching this resistance from this yellow line over here, and touching mostly this support, right? Meaning that there's people willing to buy, but the people who are willing to buy cannot push the price higher, right? They are just eating that supply that people are willing to sell at that price, and then, you know, it just wanes and dies down, right? People are still buying but at lower prices, and then people will try to come in and buy at higher prices again, and let's see if they're strong enough to actually burst through this resistance, which is like now we're sitting between or below another resistance, which is a 9,746, right? Anyways, what else is happening with Bitcoin? Well, right now, sitting below 20 MA, starting to make some expansion on the Bollinger Bands. You know, that contraction that we had starting to expand a little bit. Not much going on yet. I mean, still within that triangle, but we might break it soon. We are very mature into that pattern. We talked about that earlier. We are still making negative momentum, right? MACD diverging still from the signal line, right? The histogram still making negative momentum, like I stated, and sitting low on the RSI at, well, I just hit these things, right? So let's show them. Sitting at 38.68, right? Is something happening here? Not yet. This momentum is still lower than this momentum, right? And we're making a lower price. So no bullish divergence going on here. No bearish divergence on the top. We are just floating within the structure, not making anything more noticeable on the daily. We had this bullish divergence here that played out to price action to the upside. And since then, just been moving down, but not developing anything else. At least not on the MACD or the RSI, right? Now let's go on the 4 hours. What is happening on the 4 hours, right? Sitting below 20 MA, as you can see, we were here last night, I think September 22nd at 7 p.m. So we would have been on this candle. We said we were being weak. We were rejecting twice that 20 MA and going above it. We said potential price action to the downside. We did get it. Touched that mid part of the channel, bouncing off it. That is fine. We actually touched it 2 or 3 times almost. Momentum negative, right? Starting to stagnate a little bit. This is good, you know. Even though we are going low, are we going low? Yeah. So I mean, potentially we right now, if we go from ignoring that wick, right, from bottom to bottom, and from here to here, and seeing that we did not make positive momentum in all this one connected island, we are making bullish divergence, potential price action to the upside. We are starting to see that fight probably coming up. Hopefully that we are able to break above this resistance at 9,746. After that, we have resistance at 9,920. And after that, probably 10,234, right? But we also have the 20 MA and this channel that we just broke out of as resistances. So watch out for that. Yeah, what else is happening with this, right? Sitting low on the RSI, we actually hit oversold territory at 29.41 in the past 4 hour candle. Right now, we're sitting at 33. Still high on that sold scale, but not oversold. Again, potential price action to the upside, right? From that bullish divergence and from that We're not diverging on the RSI, but we are staying low on the RSI with lots of room to run to the upside. Again, hopefully we can get that movement. Might not be too violent because, like I said, look, we have not been able to go out and touch that part of the channel. We might make a smaller high and potentially we break down again. Maybe we make some bearish divergence and actually break to the channel to the downside. We talked about potential stops, right? In the previous stream, but again, we'll cover it real quick. I'll go on the daily, right? If we break out of the structure to the downside, we have some support around this area, right? This blue line that has been used as support previously. Then if we break below that, we have the 8,500 area, and then we have the 7,500 area. We have some psychological support at 8,000, then 7,000, and then if we break from that, we go all the way to 5,692. And when we took a measure move off this triangle pattern, it just put us around the 4,000 level, right? So from that high to that low, I'll just grab it and move it and put it here like a potential breakout. Again, 4,435. We talked about this before, guys. If we break to the upside again, potential price all the way to 15,471. However, it seems unlikely right now that we'll break to the upside. Look at this. We have not been able to touch it. We've just been facing resistance around that area. And if you wanted to trace another line and make a smaller triangle, I'll do this on the 4-hour, chart's acting weird. There we go. Potentially could go with something like this, which would be slightly parallel to this upper line. But again, we would be making another triangle. Even though it's symmetrical, it's more downsloping than upsloping, or more than symmetrical, right? The bottom part, it's less upsloping than the upper part, right? It's more downsloping than upsloping. But again, it is symmetrical in nature. And like we said, in other exchanges, it does look like a symmetrical triangle. And if some people are basically cutting this off and ignoring wicks, and if you just go by candle bodies, it would be a symmetrical triangle in some exchanges as well. So again, it depends on what you want to see in the market. Again, if we go from here to here, we have not been able to break out of it. Is it valid? Potentially, However, the larger structure is still dominating, and I believe we should just go for that much larger structure, which is the pattern that we are in. Yeah, so that will be it for Bitcoin, right? Man. On the 4-hour, let's go on the 1-hour and see what's going on, right? On the 1-hour, like I said, man, I'm gonna zoom in because crazy stuff happening on Bitcoin, right? Are we making that divergence, right? Well, if we go on the shorter scale, no, because we're actually going lower in prices, and on this island, we would actually be going with the market. If we go to this low, I mean, we are ignoring all this stuff, right? We're ignoring this island separation. If you wanted to make it, again, if you wanted to look for bullish signs, you would have to go here, and then from here to here, ignoring all that shop in the middle to be able to call it bullish divergence. Again, it would also happen on the RSI because you will be going from here to here, right? So if you want to look for bullish signs, that would be your bullish sign. However, I'm not sure this will play out in the 1-hour because we have this island in the middle with different stuff, right? We had bullish divergence played out to the upside. That is fine. We had that bearish divergence that we set price action to the downside. We did get it. We're not strong enough to bounce or make any kind of bullish divergence, so we kind of broke down even further. And even though we are breaking farther, we are still making more negative momentum. Again, not looking very strong for Bitcoin right now. Sitting low on the RSI at 33.49. Sold, but not oversold. Seeing some bounce back, again, it's normal after an impulse down. And if this bullish divergence was to play out, we would face that 20 MA resistance, that channel, that 9,920. Again, this is 9,746, and then that 10,000 level. That's it for Bitcoin. To the upside. If we go to the downside, we have that resistance that has held for a while, that bottom part of this structure. And if we break it, we have this area, this bottom part of the channel, this area that we could potentially bounce off. Breakout has to be confirmed. It could be a potential fake breakout. Keeping in mind for Bitcoin, let's go on to Ethereum. What is happening with Ethereum, right? Is it this one? No, this is still Bitcoin. This is Ethereum chat. Yeah. So blockchains like Ethereum are often thought of as self-sovereign money networks that operate independently of states, financial institutions, and corporations. But recent research shows this might not be the reality, right? It turns out that it's really centralized cloud service hosting most of the Ethereum network, right? With 61% of Ethereum nodes running on the cloud. Now, uncomfortably, this is what the words from the article, uncomfortably, Amazon services or Amazon Web Services indirectly operates 25% of Ethereum nodes. As of September 20, 2019, Chainstack Analysis determined that Ethereum network was comprised of 8,933 nodes, with just 38.4% of those nodes were fully hosted independently, and 61.6% of the network was running on the cloud. 10 of those cloud hosting providers amounted to 57.3% of all Ethereum nodes, with Amazon Web Services hosting significantly more than any other provider, like we said, 25%. Now, why is it bad? Because if Ethereum does not want, if Amazon does not want Ethereum, they can cancel those nodes, and then you would have 25 less nodes on the network to process everything, right? So 25% of the nodes on the network to process everything. So potentially bad that Amazon has so many nodes of Ethereum on their services, right? Let's go to Ethereum and see what's going on. Ethereum on the daily, right? Dominance. Yesterday, losing some dominance again, 1.23%, not worrying. Right now, making 0.2%, still sitting above that 8%, sitting at 8.78, which is pretty good. Now, what is Ethereum doing? Ethereum is sitting at $201.50. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, we are flirting with that 382, which is a 201.86. Like we said, that would be a valid retrace if we touch that and bounce back. Anything below that 236 is valid. So 382 is definitely valid. However, if we were not to recover from this, we could potentially go and touch that 50% retrace, which would be 194.78, and we could even go and touch that 618 at 187.71, right? $187.71. What is happening? Well, we are still sitting above the 20 MA. Volatility is still open on the Bollinger Bands, still making less positive momentum. Some starting to converge of the MACD and the signal line. That's fine. Sitting high on the RSI at 54. It's on the neutral. I mean, high, meaning it's on the bot, right? So a little bit higher than neutral, but still on that neutral zone, so nothing to worry about there. Are we doing something? Well, not really. Maybe, right? If we ignore this small island in the middle of positive momentum, and I think we talked about it, right? From here to here, we're making a lower high. And from here to here, we're making a higher high again. This would be hidden bearish divergence, so watch out for that. We are seeing the price action to the downside again. We are facing some sort of resistance around the 382 and could potentially rally up. Now let's go onto a more micro scale on the 4 hours, right? On the 4 hours, sitting below 20 MA, volatility opening on the Bollinger Bands. Like I said, right now we are basically sitting at that 382, a little bit below it, but fighting to go above it. Still making negative momentum and sitting low on the RSI 37 with lots of potential to run to the upside. Things that are happening, right? Right now, this has not stagnated. Again, it's just potential. We could be going from here to here if we were to stagnate and start making less negative momentum and go from like here to here. And we would be making from here to here. We'll be making bullish divergence, right? Strong bullish divergence. So again, potential price action to the upside. If this was to hold, it can still hold and make bullish divergence all the way up to this line that I'm leaving. So again, if it stays below that line, we are making bullish divergence. If it touches that line, it is a type of bullish divergence. It will be weak bullish divergence. And if it goes above that line, then it gets negated and we did not make bullish divergence. Again, just pointing out the options for you guys to know, so you can make your calls, right? That would be if we want to see price action to the upside. Again, if everything was to continue, we would potentially see price action to the downside. Why? Well, we had this bearish divergence here, right? We talked about it the other day. We deleted it, but we had this bearish divergence develop. A higher high, but less positive momentum. Price action to the downside. We are getting it. We have not been able to stop it, basically. That'll be it for Ethereum. Let's go into the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, sitting below at 20 MA, we had contraction of the Bollinger Bands, and we talked about what happens when the Bollinger Bands contract. Low volatility, explosive movements. We had it to the downside. Did we develop something? Yes, we had that bearish divergence up here that we talked about. No, that would be it actually. Then what else is actually happening with Ethereum, right? Are we doing something else? Well, yeah, sorta, very slightly. If we ignore this small island again, I don't like ignoring islands, but if you wanted to ignore it, because this island played out to the upside, like that bullish divergence was supposed to play out, not too strong, but it did. If you were to go here, it's still slightly lower, and you're definitely going much lower on price. Again, if you want to see this as a bullish indicator, potential price action to the upside, it would also be developing on not it would not be developing on the RSI. We're actually lower on the RSI, but that would be it, right? We are not doing it on the MACD line because it's actually lower than here. So again, it would just be on the histogram. Now, starting to stagnate on that negative momentum. So again, we could reverse this price action potentially to the upside, make some positive momentum price action to the upside. But right now, we're just starting to get that small convergence of the MACD to the signal line. Yeah, that'll be it for Ethereum, right? Again, these signs are if you want to look for something bullish, and if not, we will just keep with the trend that we're in. We are hitting a common retrace again. We might be able to bounce off it. We might still come down and touch that 50% or that 382. Sorry, that 618 that we talked about, right? The 382 is where we're sitting at. Anyways, those are the options for Ethereum. Let's go on to Ripple, right? A lot of guys here like Ripple. So let's talk about it, right? What's going on with Ripple? Well, Ripple has onboarded another major commercial bank. They signed with National Bank of Fujairah, NBF for short, and that's what we're going to call it because I'm going to butcher the name 1,000 times if I want to say it properly. Now, NFB now uses the benefits of Ripple blockchain technology for conducting cross-border payments, and that is cool. Now, I'll tell you why it's not so cool in a second. Now, NFB claims that it is currently working with other banks to implement Ripple in 2019, and that is cool. They are implementing Ripple, right? RippleNet, remember, does not necessarily have to use the XRP token. You can use fiat. Again, it's a great case for Ripple. Maybe not so much of a great case for XRP right now. However, them starting to experiment with it and seeing the potential that it has could lead to them adopting XRP later on. Let's see if that does happen. But however, that is just pure speculation and wishful thinking of my part right now, right? 6 people tuned in. Thank you for watching, guys. Again, if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. We're here for you guys. Anyways, that's it for Ripple. I didn't find anything else. Even though Sybil or Cybos or however you want to call this event is going on, apparently today Swift had the spotlight with the adoption of Swift GPI and the impact of global payments. That's one of the articles that came out today. However, we're not doing it because it does not necessarily talk about the crypto market. It talks about how Swift is onboarding a lot of institutions, right? And making basically cross-border payments in 150 currencies. And that's it. So we're not going to cover that. It does not relate to the crypto market. It is a competitor of Ripple and XRP. However, we'll wait for Ripple to get the floor at Cybos so that we're able to actually talk about it. Let's go on to Ripple. What's happening with Ripple on the daily? For dominance, yesterday lost dominance, man. 3.95% down right now, gaining a little bit of dominance, 0.55%. Again, the day just starting 2 hours ago. Let's wait and see how this goes. Ripple sitting at 4.65% of market cap. Price of Ripple at 26 cents or 26.7 cents if you want to get the full number, right? Or fuller number would be 26,747. What is happening? Well, it's the 5th day of negative price action that we got. We are right now sitting more or less neutral. We did retrace a lot on Ripple, and I'm actually going to look at another chart. I think we traced it here. Here it is, right? We even retraced farther than that 786, almost retracing 100% of the way to that price action that we had. Again, that is if we take that one as the low. If you want to go to the real low, or it would be this low over here, or this low over here, and that would just put us touching that 786 and seeing us bounce off it. Is it good? Is it bad? Again, it depends where you want to put your supports and resistance, not supports and resistances, but your your highs and lows, right? And the considerations for them. Now, I think we had put it here because in the 1 hour it looked better, but this will be a little bit more realistic This long wick I choose to ignore because it's more or less FOMO, but this one it's could be potential price action movement. We have seen wicks that long even here. Again, here we will be hitting that 786 and bouncing off it, and that is fine. You know, sitting below at 20 MA, also facing resistance by it. Volatility open on the Bollinger Bands, wildly open, so movements could go wild, upside or downside. Sitting at neutral on the RSI at 46.54. Let's go into the other Ripple that we have. We have the resistances and supports. We're also sitting at a resistance of 26.61. Yeah, so 26 cents, 26.61 cents. What else is happening with Ripple, right? Well, in the more major scale, we kind of retraced, not quite touched that 382. We're now still below that 236, undoing almost the whole pump that we did, right? Yeah. So again, in this chart, volatility, RSI sitting at 46.72, making less positive momentum, about to go neutral and get across of the MACD over the signal line, which again, potential price action to the downside. Not too happy about that. What is happening on the more micro scale? Well, on the more micro scale, we're facing resistance from this previous channel that we broke out of, right? In the past 4-hour candle, we actually went up, touched it, and were rejected by it near that 20 MA as well, sitting below the 20 MA on Ripple. Volatility open on the Bollinger Band, starting to make negative momentum again. Again, not really good. The only good thing that's coming out of this is that we are making some sort of bullish divergence, right, from here to here and from here to here. That's the only good thing that's coming out of it. However, this negative momentum has not finished developing. We have not neutralized it. So anything up to, again, the straight line would still be bullish divergence. If it goes any farther than that, then, you know, it will not play out. But again, bullish divergence, potential price action to the upside. We are, where are we sitting on there? Say 36.34 and 36.89. I mean, more or less equal, right? If you wanted to call it, you could potentially, even though it's slightly lower. But again, more or less a straight line, and we'll just place it here for you all to see. You can see it. It's more or less a straight line. Again, that would be Class C or Type 3 or weak bullish divergence developing on Ripple on the 4-hour. We have two bullish divergence developing on the MACD and on the RSI. However, like I said, this has not stopped. We have not negated it, right? We can still make more negative momentum. Just putting it out there. So if you want to look for the bullish signs, there they are. If you want to look for the bearish signs, we already talked about them. We could keep on dumping. And that's it, right? Next support would be at 25 cents again, where we were at before. And basically, almost going into that previous range that we were in, from that 26 cents, 26.60 to the 25 cents, right? So again, we don't want to go there again. We do have swell event coming in October. So again, hype might start happening around Ripple, and we might see potential price action to the upside later on at the month. However, I'm not sure we're going to get, I'm not sure how high we're going to go with that hype, right? If Bitcoin tanks, doesn't matter how much hype comes from Ripple, it's going to go down with Bitcoin, right? That's the most likely scenario. Let's go into the 1 hour. What is happening on the 1 hour? Sitting below at 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Again, sitting above that 26 cents resistance, which is good. Negative momentum starting to decrease, finally neutralizing it on the 1 hour. Sitting low on the RSI at 35. Not oversold, but certainly high on that sold scale. Are we doing something? Well, let's see. 121 and 102. Slightly less. Yes, we would be. It's very slight, but we are ignoring this island that we made here to go from here to here, which would be slightly lower, almost vertical. So again, either strong bullish divergence or weak bullish divergence right now, because it's more or less the same. But the only positive thing is that we are actually making less lower price action, and we're making that divergence again. Could potentially play out to price action to the downside. Upside. And man, sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted today. And again, we would be. I'm gonna ignore these mountains here, but again, we would be making it from here to here, right? That would be the same point, right? So from here to here, we would be making that bullish divergence, strong bullish divergence on the RSI, on the MACD. Again, potential price action to the upside. Right now, we could just be rounding off before we actually pump. If we pump to the upside, resistance at the 20 MA, resistance at 27.9 cents. Then that upper part of that downsloping channel that we've seen as resistance in the past 4 hours. And then after that, potentially hit that, what is it that we have here? The the 236 at 29.12 cents. You know, that will be if we go to the upside. Man, let's wait and see where Ripple goes, right? So I just gave you what could play out. I'm not going to tell you where to go in, where to go out. That's up to you. And you can set up your own stop losses. I mean, again, you are responsible for your own risk. I'm just telling you what I see on the market, and it's up to you to adjust accordingly. Let's go on to Litecoin. There are no articles for Litecoin. Litecoin articles have been very weak lately. Again, not sure why, but man, they have not been doing anything. What is happening with Litecoin? Man, saw a nasty drop yesterday right here. Anyways, minus 4.49% right now, plus 0.34%, sitting at 1.74 of market cap. Price of Litecoin at $66.90. Again, we had this nasty price action to the downside. We touched that. Man, what is this? 100% retrace? Yeah, we retraced 100% of the way before we actually bounced, right? So we undid all the gains that we had made before. Congratulations to Litecoin. Again, we were rejected. We rejected that and pumping to the upside a little bit, but not too much. Man, this coin is looking worse every day. Positive momentum started out. Potential make some negative momentum. If we make lower prices and less negative momentum than before, we might make some bullish divergence. I can't see us to price action to the upside. Anyways, things that I don't like right now is that we're sitting low on the RSI at 39, and we are not seeing price action to the upside as strongly as we should. Again, making this bearish divergence on the much larger scale, hidden bearish divergence. However, and let's go into the 4 hours and see what's happening. On the 4 hours, hey, 7 people watching. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Anyways, price action to the downside strongly on the past 4 hours, right? Man, very strong. Making negative momentum again, right? Negating that potential bullish divergence that we had. Price action to the upside, rejected by a 20 MA. Again, Bitcoin failing to perform, also keeping Litecoin from performing. This was hidden bullish divergence, which is not very strong. It was also developed here in the RSI. Again, making a lower loan price, thus negating everything because now we are congruent with the market. Yeah, so starting to pump to the upside. Like I said, negated 100% of the gains that we had on Litecoin. Not very good. Not looking very good for Litecoin right now. Again, after an impulse down, there's some consolidation. We could see a reaction rally, but I'm not sure how strong that reaction rally is going to be. Sorry about that if it sounded very loud. I was not trying to whistle or anything. It's just a weird S that came out. Anyways, what else is happening? Well, we are sitting low on the RSI at 29, hitting that oversold territory. Potential more room to run to the upside, right? So we could potentially run to the upside, but we are not getting those bullish indicators right now. Let's go into the 1 hour and see what's happening. Man, I wonder if this impulse was in a 1 hour movement, and I'm betting it probably was. In a 2 hour span. Okay, 2 hour span. So what is happening? Well, we had that impulse down, sitting below 20 MA. Volatility open on the Bollinger Bands, expanded quite a bit. Again, lots of room to run to the upside. When volatility is open, you know, we can still drop more, but we could also run to the upside a lot more. Violent movements can happen when the volatility is open. Positive momentum, negative momentum, starting to decrease. Sitting low on the RSI at 22. Again, oversold with lots of room to run to the upside. Are we doing something here? Well, we are not. I wish we could say we're making some sort of bullish divergence, but we are not. We are just congruent with the market. Even here, it's much lower than here. So, I mean, you know, you can say that they're more or less similar. Even though it's a little bit more, they're more or less similar negative momentum heights, right? And it's slightly more here. This red candle is slightly more. But look at how much more you're dropping in price. Again, we could potentially be making weak bullish divergence. I wouldn't call it just because this is lower than this, but if you wanted to see that bullish sign in the market, it would be there. Again, I'm not gonna call it for you guys. You guys make your own decisions as to what is going to happen. Right now, I think we're going to consolidate. Again, we've talked about consolidation, right? Impulse down consolidation. If you consolidate, upsloping potentially could be bearish flag, right? Bear flag, price action to the downside. So again, just keep it in mind. Now let's go on to Binance. What is happening with Binance? Well, Binance announced today, and we already knew and we were waiting for it, right? They are launching their trading fiat to crypto and crypto to crypto tomorrow, which is good, meaning there's a new exchange on the block. Might bring more adoption. Certainly is going to dilute more of the markets that are in the US, because if you don't drive up adoption, people will start trading there, meaning the money is going to come from another exchanges, meaning that there's going to be less liquidity on those exchanges. Again, if you get overpopulated with exchanges, it's bad. But again, more adoption, right? There's more places to trade, more competitiveness, right? Better rates for people, because when exchanges start to compete for the people, they're going to end up lowering rates, coming up with crazy promotions to drag more people into their exchange. It's good for us, somewhat, but also bad, because then less liquidity on the exchanges, right? Anyways, the trading platform will list 7 cryptocurrencies immediately upon the launch, which will include Bitcoin, Binance Coin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and XRP and Tether. I'm not sure if I repeated XRP or not, but anyways, it will also soon open deposits for another 5 assets, being Cardano, Basic Attention Token or BAT, Ethereum Classic, Stellar, and 0x. Yeah, that's it for the news segment. We're gonna look at Binance dominance. What is happening with Binance dominance on the daily? Well, yesterday lost dominance just like everyone else, 1.75. And today gaining a little bit of dominance, 0.45. We said at the beginning of the stream that money flew out of the alts, because Bitcoin was getting dominance and the market was losing market cap. Again, that's what happened, right? Anyways, right now, price of Binance going down 5.31% yesterday. Right now, going up a little bit, 0.59. Like I said, price of Binance, $19.38. Not really good, sitting below that $20 mark. Again, with Binance, from where was we were taking this low from where, man? Might have been this more. I'm pretty sure there's something off with this chart. Let me go from here and let's take it from the real low. We can take this as the low, right? A more immediate low. If we take this as the low, we have not retraced 100% of the way. That's good. I think we were doing something around here. Then we did not make that retracement to that 236, which would be $22.87. Again, let's go on a more micro scale. Something that I do like is that look at all this volatility that we had. Look at all those long wicks that we had in the prior days, right? Like crazy, man. Indecision, lots of indecision going on, right? Right now, we are still having indecision, but the wicks are much smaller, right? It's more subdued. So right now, price action to the downside. Again, are we doing something on the more macro scale? Do we take the wicks into consideration or not? If we do, we could potentially be making some bearish divergence. So price action to the downside. We talked about that yesterday. We are getting it. Let's go into a more micro scale. Anyway, sitting low on the RSI at, I'm not sure if we called it or not, 32.90. Again, positive momentum starting to die out. Let's go on the 4 hours. Sitting below at 20 MA. Still moving to the downside. Negative momentum has not been able to go back to zero. Basically, we've just been making 1 bar of negative momentum, 1 bar of decreased negative momentum, 1 bar of negative momentum decreasing. Not very good. And that's because of this indecision that's going on, right? Even though we are dropping, there's a lot of fighting back. So sitting low on the RSI at 33.06. Are we doing something, man? Well, not really. I mean, yes, if you want to call this, it could potentially be bullish divergence, right? I mean, you are making less negative momentum each time, and you are definitely dropping on price. Many small touch points, so slant, bullish divergence, potential price action to the upside. Can we get it? I'm not sure if we have finished dropping yet or not. That's the whole point with this, right? Not doing it on the MACD line, not doing it on the RSI, but only on the histogram. Is that where we're getting that? Anyways, let's go into the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, bullish divergence that we call price action to the upside. We did get it. Anyways, we ended up making hidden bearish divergence, price action to the downside. We did get it as well. Are we doing something? Man, look, again, from here to here, right? Lower price and lower negative, lower islands, negative momentum, right? So again, bearish, bullish divergence developing. Not playing out very strongly, facing rejection by that 20 MA in a downsloping channel, man. not looking very good for Binance right now. Even look, if you wanted to ignore these islands, right, and you want to go from here to here straight, that's fine. That would still be bullish divergence. But we're not seeing it play out, man. We are starting to see some price action to the upside, not very violently. You know, we are about to get a cross off the MACD over the signal line. Sometimes when those crosses happen, we do get violent movements like here, that candle right here. We didn't get this many here in this candle, but we certainly had one here in this candle. Here, not so many, but you know, sometimes we do get those violent movements. If we get violent price action to the upside, immediate resistance at that 20 MA. And after that, man, I'm not going to call anything else right now. We have been dropping again. This could potentially be like, not even sure what to call this, man. It's like 3 falling peaks maybe, but not quite. I mean, sitting low on the RSI at 32, making less, a little bit less than negative momentum, right? That's the only thing that's hopeful. But again, lots of room to run to the upside. Not seeing it. We were at oversold at 27.28, but that's it, man. Not much going on. Anyways, I'm not gonna call anything on this because it's just not playing out strongly, man. We have that bullish divergence. It's not playing out. Again, the position of Binance is looking very weak right now. Even though the launch tomorrow and adoption and buying of Binance coin on the Binance US could potentially see some price action to the upside. That's the only good things that I'm seeing. However, I would have expected for this to go up more, and I hope it's not one of those sell the news type of events where they launch tomorrow and the token just tanks, because it's gonna be very sad. Very, very sad. Yeah, anyways, let's go and look at the seller, man. Benny, I know you're here. I know you're watching. I'm not sure if you're still tuned in, but we're going to look at your coin again because yesterday you did something interesting, kind of pumped. Today, seems that whatever pump to the downside it did, it kind of gained again. You said you wanted to close your position on that high. I'm not sure if this new high is working out for you. I hope it is. It is higher. We did make, right now on these 2 hours, made a higher high than yesterday. So again, if you're looking to close your position, I hope that you did. Sitting above that 20 MA. Could we run to the upside? Man, right now we're moving sideways. Not really easy to tell. We are making more or less the same height. A little bit higher here. And on the RSI, 0.015, 0.0, same height on the RSI. Down sloping on the top. That would not be bearish divergence. That's good. Again, on the RSI. In the RSI, could we? Not really, because it's... No, actually, we would be making hidden. So from here to here, it's slightly lower, right? Slightly. The day is still not done, but potentially making some hidden bearish divergence, right? But again, it can get negated. Day just starting, so we'll keep an eye out for that. You just sold? Awesome, man. Did you make a profit? That's my question. I hope you did. Let's go look at the 4 hours. 4 hours. Man, this candle is the one that brought you up, right? Basically, redid. You did not get this high from 2 days ago or 3 days ago, but you are making a high, and that's good. Anyways, sitting high on the RSI at 60. Making the first bar positive momentum in a while since September 18th. Again, potential price action to the upside could continue maybe. Let's see. No, less negative momentum now. From here to here, where are we making something, man? Let's look at this. Nope, we weren't making divergence. Maybe from here. No, from here to here. Not making any kind of bullish divergence. 20% profits, man. That is amazing. I'm so happy for you, bro. I'm glad this coin played out. I didn't have many hopes for this, man. It didn't look very good, but I'm glad it played out for you. I mean, the downside is that you went lower than 0.005. But again, the upside is huge, right? So I'm glad that you made a profit, bro. I'm happy for you. Let's go into the 1 hour and see what's happening. On the 1 hour, man, we are making yeah, so I'm going to take it from here to here. To the candle body even. Right? And we're making lower negative momentum. Right? Lower positive momentum, sorry. So again, making right now, because this island has not finished forming, we would be making... strong bearish divergence for you guys, or yeah, strong bearish divergence. And again, it would also be reflected on the RSI. This is higher than this. Again, this hour candle has not finished. It has not closed. Again, still going. Can't negate it right now. We would be kind of negating it. Again, the price is fluctuating a lot, so it's hard to pinpoint. Right now it went up again. But we would be making bearish divergence right now if we close this in 2 minutes, and could potentially mean price action to the downside again. Again, right now we are kind of neutralizing it. Like I said, here we would be congruent with the market on the RSI, so that divergence that we talk about probably not playing out. You know, we would need for this to close, and maybe in the next bar could usher more price action to the upside. Again, bro, don't look at the past. If you already closed your position, don't think, oh man, I should have stayed. That just reinforces negative trading patterns that you should not have, right? You go by your plan. You exit when you have to exit, and if the market goes to the moon, you did what you had to do. You have to be happy with that. And if the market crashes, then you're happy with that because you did what you had to do, right? Anyways, bro, I'm really happy for you, man. I'm glad that you made a profit. Again, seller, we're gonna keep tracking this and see where it goes in the next couple of days. I mean, the movements are just very sharp, so the drops are very significant. Anyways, anything above this line would create bearish divergence on the MACD histogram, right? Yeah, that's it. Do you guys want to look at anything else? We can look at TRX or something else. I mean, TRX is just dropping. It's sad. XLM. Let's look at XLM. XLM is also going down, man. It's sad as well, right? XLM is one of those coins that I think has a lot of potential to the upside. Has not been getting it. I mean, it did get this pump. This is a 1 hour, right? Let's go into the daily. And I did like this pump a couple days ago, right? Definitely, but man, you know, same thing that Ripple, man. It's just going down, even though this is holding up a little bit better than Ripple because Ripple's almost retracing 100% of the way. That's not good. Did we say Ripple was retracing 100% of the way almost? I think we did. And we'll look at Ripple real quick. No, we're not. We still have a little bit to go. But yeah, almost retracing 100% of the way. We're sitting at that 786, so 26 cents. Again, almost. We could go here for 100% of the way. But from the pump, I would call it here or here. And we're much closer to retracing 100% of the way. The lowest 95% you're not made. I'm happy because I learned from failure to trade. So I'll break even low. Yeah, I mean, that's it, dude. You learn from mistakes. I mean, people that go in usually end up losing everything in the first couple of trades, right? Not a couple of trades, but a couple of weeks, months, years trading while they get the grasp of the market. And that is normal, man. That is just the market schooling you and you taking notes and learning from it. Anyways, things that I can't see here on Ripple, on XLM, and that we haven't talked about it because we had not analyzed it. But if I extend this a little bit more, we are facing resistance, right? That all support now became resistance. That's not good. Even though we are still sitting at that 20 MA, almost facing resistance, right? We broke down below it, but facing resistance at it again. And that's not very good. Let me go here so you can see that we're sitting on it. And again, not looking very strong for XLM. Do you guys want to look at anything else? I mean, 7 people tune in. Let me know what's up with you guys. If you want to look at other projects, any other coins, stocks, whatever, we can do it, right? If there's no more comments, questions, or anything, we'll end the stream in about a minute or so, just to give time for this delay on the chat. I talk here, it gets to you like 20 seconds later, and then it takes like another 20 seconds for your questions to come in. So definitely a minute should be enough for this to go through. Again, if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe, show these to your friends, man. If they're not into crypto and they want to learn, we are very friendly. We do explain things in detail to the best of our abilities. And, if that'll be it, we'll just basically be done with the stream. Benny, you have a lot of coins, right? If you want to look at another one, just toss the ticker and we'll look at it, man. Meanwhile, we'll look at what silver's doing. Man, silver, some nice recovery, right? Sitting at $18.56. Ask people how to edit this video on Twitter. You want me to ask people to edit this video on Twitter? I don't have that many followers, man. I think I have like 8 people following me on Twitter. Yeah, I can ask for it, but I'm not sure how much of a reply I'm going to get. Oil? You want to look at oil? Yeah, sure, we can look at oil. Brent crude. Let's look at this. I'm not even sure if this is the best one to look at for, yeah, US dollar to Brent crude. Let's look at that. Why not? 8 times 8? Yeah. Maybe. Do I have that many followers? I'm not sure, man. I haven't looked at my follower count on Twitter, man. I do have more followers here on YouTube. I think we're sitting at 91. I'm not sure if we gain a subscriber today or not. I know we gained one earlier on today, but I'm not sure if we're gaining subscribers right now as I speak. Now, for some reason, this is being weird. It's not working here. Yeah, it's acting weird on this side of the screen. Anyways, what is happening with oil? Yes. Well, let's look at this on a more macro scale first, because we do have some chop happening. On the weekly, man, oil, are we doing something? High, lower, high? Yes, we are making a hidden bearish divergence, right? That'll be it. Right off the bat, things that we can see easily, right? Not so much on the RSI, but yes, on the actual top part, that's fine. I mean, I don't want to pinpoint it accurately because we're just going to do a quick analysis. Anyways, low, lower low, lower low, higher low. Not making any kind of bullish divergence right now. And, well, price action to the upside again. Not quite as high, but again, this has not finished developing. We're actually pumping to the downside right now. Let's go look at the daily on oil. What is happening with oil on daily? Well, I had this sharp movement, right? I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Stuff that is happening, right? High, lower high, less momentum. Yeah, again, that even from this like small island to this, right? That would be hidden bearish divergence developing from here to here. That would be strong bearish divergence developing from here to here. And well, I'll just shift stuff around real quick. From here to here, price action to the downside. We did get it again, making a smaller island. This would have been congruent with the market. Are we making something bullish, man? Yes, sort of. Yes, we are. If we ignore this small red island from here to here, that would be bullish. From here to here, that would be bullish. Price action to the upside. We are getting it. We're facing some resistance around here. I mean, I don't have this charted, so I mean, maybe we have some. Yeah, we have some resistance back here, right? We have faced some resistance around this area before. Even here, used it as support. Then we hear somewhere around this area, we're using it as support again, and that could potentially be playing out. What outside market affects crypto even so slightly? I tried gold, U.S. stocks, oil, can't find anything. What do you mean, what outside markets affects crypto? You mean what else can affect the price of crypto? Yeah, we can look at stuff that can affect the price of crypto, right? Trade war can definitely affect the price of crypto and gold. If you talk about, don't look for other assets that can affect it. I mean, certainly if people want to see more risk in crypto, they might look for stocks or somewhere safe to go. But look more for the international news that are developing, right? Recession, trade war. All those things certainly do have a much bigger effect on crypto and the price, right? We said during a recession, crypto has not been tested as a form of store of value. Therefore, we did see the price of gold go down, the price of gold go up, but crypto go down. And again, but when we talk about the trade war, people seem to have seek refuge on crypto as well as gold, right? And take money out of stocks. But again, when all those talks about the trade war calm down, that money that flew out of the stocks into crypto goes back into the stocks, right? So people calm down a little bit. They see the market's a little bit more stable. That could potentially affect it. Again, I'll keep on looking at this, but on the daily, that's what I'm seeing, right? I mean, you're making slightly higher highs, making more positive momentum. That's congruent with the market right now. On the bottom parts, you're not making negative momentum here. Price action to the upside, we're getting it. From here to here, you are making a higher high, and you are making more positive momentum, right, from this immediate high, which will be this island. That's what I see for crude right now. But again, if you want to look at gold and silver, we can look at that because they recovered nicely, right? Gold, look, man, had a nice small curve recovery. If you wanted to do fibs here, we could do it. I think the chart for gold looks a little bit better than the crude. So from here to here, that'll be the low. We retraced, sorry, I did it upside down, from low to high. There we go. So we retraced to that 236 before we actually touched it and bounced off. I would have to pinpoint this a little bit better to get that fine-tuned right, but we are touching around that. Here we go. There we go. We would be touching that 236 bouncing off it, right? That's pretty good. Cryptocurrency's entire value is based on hype and trust. If you remove this hype and trust, then the cryptocurrency is worthless. Yeah, that's a quote from someone else. I can't remember which article we got that from, but we did talk about that, and I think a lot of people were posting it also on Twitter, so that's a pretty good quote. Who was it that said that? Was it McAfee that said that? Man, I'm probably just saying names. But yeah, we did cover that in an article, and I can actually look that straight up as a quote because I have it on my notes. I just need to look at docs real quick. Yeah, you copied it. Okay, cool. Yeah, then we talked about that, right? And I'm not sure if it was McAfee or someone else, but oh man, it didn't pop up. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, gold is doing a little bit better. Silver is definitely doing a little bit better as well. Silver did go down, touch that 382 and bounce off it, man. That's much better, right? We actually used it as support once. Sitting above that 20 MA. Nice price action on silver yesterday, man. I'm glad that silver is recovering. I do work with the mining industry, so of course price action to the upside is good for it. Now, anyways, dude, yeah, I think we're just gonna call it a night for tonight. It's 10:08. I think it's 11 for you. What altcoin token am I watching? Do it right now. I'm watching Bitcoin and hoping it doesn't crash. If Bitcoin crashes, then we might see more crashes happening on the altcoins. So I'm not so much worried about the alts right now than I am of Bitcoin. I am watching Ripple. I am watching XLM a little bit. I do believe XLM has potential price action to the upside. Long term is not playing out right now, so definitely could play out at some point in time. And I would hope that the price of XLM does go up. I do hold some XLM. Not too much, but some. You think it's going to crash? Bitcoin, yeah, like I said, it's not looking very strong, bro. We have not been able to make higher highs in a long time. Not lower lows either, but, when we looked at the triangle, it's a little bit more steep to the downside, right? I have other charts. This would be symmetrical. It's not symmetrical. This line proves it. I mean, I just had it here for illustrative purposes. We broke it out of this curve that was cradling us, right? And we can always adjust because the structure goes all the way out here. So again, this curve would be valid through its lifespan all the way out there, something like that. And we will be winning that curve still. Again, stuff that could happen. We break out of this curve, out of this structure, price action to the downside. Like I said, we have not touched it in a while, right? Even though we pumped to the upside, we've just been downsloping. That's not very good. We are getting contraction on the Bollinger Bands, expanding a little bit with this price movement to the downside. But if this plays out strongly, man, and we break below this and we confirm that we are out of the structure, man, the move to the downside is big. We talked about it, even though it's not like a one-shot move, so don't be scared about that. Don't be alarmed. I am worried more about the steps down, right? And again, there are retraces and areas where you can come in and support. Anyways, in this chart would be 4,590, that move. So, am I worried of the crash? Yeah, so if this crashes, it's going to bring the whole market with it. Ripple, Ethereum, you call it, is going to go down, right? This is 70% of the market, right? Dominance right now, 70.4. So again, Bitcoin goes down, everyone goes down with it. Right, we talked about this. I'm also worried that this will crash, man. Heavily worried that this will crash. But like I said, I do believe that there's coins that have potential price action to the upside. Ethereum, not Ethereum. Ethereum already played out, but like XLM could potentially be one of them. It is sitting low enough. Tron, dude, Tron. I got out of Tron, and I'm not buying Justin Sun anymore. He's like an odd kid, bro. Especially with his weird apology where he was apologizing to his elders, whatever. I'm not into Tron anymore. Kind of a comparison to 2018 crash correction. A comparison in what aspect, man? Look, stuff that some people said and I can look at it certainly, or see how it could play out. And I had this up before. This was someone else's, dude. I think this was like, I can't remember who it was that I saw it at, but it was in another channel, right? If you look at this, even though this is not 100% similar, because this would be like this, right? Or here, maybe if you want to call it. Yeah, something like this, right? So let's say that we got to the maturity of the pattern with the triangle, and we had that price action to the downside, and then that curvature to the upside. Someone was proposing, I can't remember who it was, man. It was a YouTuber for sure, but they were proposing that maybe we get to that end of the structure here as well, right? It's up here. Then we have this small crash. Snap, it's not letting me draw. We have this small crash, and then we have this small curve, and then we pump up to the upside again. You know, Justin Sun is smart. He canceled his meeting with Buffett knowing it would dump TRX, and he sold in advance and bought the dump inside trading. Yeah, but you know, I don't buy him as a person. I think he's fishy, bro. Anyways, someone was saying this, right? Illustrating this. Let me change this in color to something that's a little bit more visible. I'll make it yellow. I'll make this yellow as well. Anyways, someone was saying this could happen, right? We have that curve. We had that here as well. You know, we were kind of floating with the price. Again, something like this. Similar, looks similar, right? We're coming from this barren lens, let's call it. We have here the barren lens again. We had that exponential curve to the upside, right? That would, I'll draw it out for you guys. It might get easier, right? So from here to here, making this curve. Let me copy this. Right, someone was pointing this out. I thought it was pretty cool because it does certainly look a lot like it. So maybe something like this. Right. So again, you have this curve, that triangle, a small drop, then you curve again, that triangle. Again, it's not looking very bullish right now. So that drop is possible, this drop. How far? I mean, we have a measure move all the way down here, which would still be higher than our previous low. Again, and then we could potentially have that a curvature exponential movement again. But after that impulse, we are going to see some consolidation. And again, this consolidation, if you want to take it from here, would be November the 23rd, and it lasted all the way till March the 7th. If you want to be all the way over here, almost April the 1st, and you know, could potentially be a long time again before we actually pump to the upside. I mean, this is all speculative in nature because this is not a real comparative analysis. But I mean, if you wanted to compare it to that previous crash and recovery, this is what it would kind of look like right now. If you wanted to be like, oh man, this is exactly that same thing that is happening, this is what I could point out to you, right? But again, I don't believe this is going to play out like this. It would be naive to believe that it would play out like this just because it played out like this in the past. There's no more historical data that would suggest that this would play out like this. So, again, take it with a grain of salt, right? And I know Justin Sun, he canceled the meeting, but something about him doesn't seem right. He seems fishy, man. Anyways, I know it's probably late for you. I think you're an hour ahead, so you're probably 11:15. For me, it's like 10:15. So I'm gonna call this a stream for tonight, and we can keep on chatting tomorrow and discussing. Guys, that'll be all for today. Yeah, he's a scammer. I agree with you. That'll be all for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell. That's pretty good for us, for you. When you give us the likes, that allows for YouTube to recommend this video to other people that have similar interests. And that is also good for you and for us. We grow. We get more people in the community. More chat going on for sure. And, you know, we want to keep on growing. We want to keep on being here. So, again, thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Happy Monday night. I'll see you all tomorrow.